Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Revealing the Narc, and on this channel we dive deep into the intriguing world of narcissism. In each video, I'll unpack the behaviors and traits of narcissists, and I'll use generally public figures as examples to illustrate how these patterns can manifest in real life. If this content is interesting to you, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Please leave comments. I love interacting with all of you. And I should mention, everything I say is in my opinion, and all of it is allegedly. So let's dive into today's topic. This article was published today, October 3rd, and it is talking about the conflict between the Beckhams and the Sussexes. And it's the reason that is hitting the news right now is because Richard Eden has said that there was a fascinating freebie reason the Beckhams had ditched the Sussexes. As my source tells me, Victoria never really liked Meghan. So I think this is catching the headlines right now because of the last part of that statement about how Victoria never really liked Meghan. So let's get into the article. Earlier this week, Prince William and David Beckham were seen sharing a joke in West London this week as they inspected two London air ambulances bought with money they had helped to raise. No one knows what so amused the former England football captain and the heir to the throne, who served as a pilot for the East Anglian Air Ambulance from 2015 to 2017. But Prince Harry will hope that it was not a joke at his expense. David, 49, was once so close to Harry, 40, that he and his wife Victoria were among the guests when the prince married Meghan Markle at St. George's Chapel in Windsor in 2018. I should mention, and I didn't realize this until recently, that the Beckhams were invited to the ceremony but not to the reception. So put yourself in this position that you believe these people are friends, but they snub you like this. So let's continue with the article. The article continues. But the Beckhams have now distanced themselves from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for reasons that are even more fascinating than anyone outside their circle realizes. David and Victoria, who have a combined fortune estimated at £455 million, were once so close to the Sussexes that they made a very generous gesture in the run-up to their wedding. When Meghan returned to her native Los Angeles to find paparazzi camped outside her mother's home, the Beckhams offered the former actress the use of their 6-bedroom Italian-style villa in the city, where she was waited on by their staff. My goodness, this is some entitlement. I just can't. Imagine they do this for you and you're like, look, you can come to the ceremony, but you're not going to come to the reception. All right, let's continue. And after Meghan moved into Nottingham Cottage at Kensington Palace, Victoria, whose fashion label was expanded into beauty products, gave her advice on makeup, and a member of her staff provided her with help on facials and hairdressing, free of charge, of course. Before we continue on with this article, I want to point out that I believe this is where the envy started. And we are going to look at this through the lens that Meghan Markle is a narcissist, and this is all allegedly, and it's in my opinion. So notice that Meghan was able to stay in the cottage and get all this beauty advice and everything. This was on the run-up to the wedding. So at this point, Meghan has seen the wealth that the Beckhams have, the power, the status, and everything that the Beckhams have. She's stayed at their villa, and she sees this vast empire that the Beckhams have built. So why would this create envy? Let's look at 3 reasons why. The first reason is this envy on the public admiration that the Beckhams enjoy. So they have a high level of public adoration and acclaim, which can trigger feelings of inadequacy in a narcissist who craves constant validation and attention. So this is similar to when you hear about 2 friends that go out and one is more attractive than the other and gets all the attention, then the second one, if they have unresolved emotional baggage, may begin to get envious because they notice how much attention, admiration, accolades their friend is getting. I should also point out that that's not a friend. Okay, so if you are in a relationship that's like that, and I mean, you have to step out of the box and look at it from the outside and have a different perspective on it. If you're certain that there is this kind of envy that's there, that is not a true friendship. The second reason I feel feelings of envy may have been evoked are the relationship dynamics between David and Victoria Beckham. So it's characterized by mutual support and shared success, and this might evoke envy in someone who perceives their own relationship as less stable or fulfilling. And the reason that, or the evidence we have that could point to Meghan having feelings of a less fulfilling relationship between her and Harry, just look at how she had already been pushing Harry around and guiding him and controlling him through physical interactions leading up to the wedding. So this behavior had started long before the I-do's had taken place. And finally, it could be status and influence. The Beckhams are seen as icons in both fashion and sports, and this might create envy in a narcissist who aspires to a similar status and influence, but they feel they haven't reached it to the same degree. So I wanted to set the stage for what happens in the relationship between the Beckhams and the Sussexes. In my opinion, at this point, prior to the wedding, there is already envy that's happening, and potentially inviting the Beckhams to the wedding ceremony and not the reception could be the signal that things were already not going in a positive direction for this friendship. Okay, let's continue with the article. When news of the Beckhams' generosity made the press, however, Meghan was said to be outraged. The Beckhams denied that they had leaked any information, but hypersensitive reportedly I'm sorry, I'm so confused. But Harry and Meghan became distrustful of them. While David and Victoria did go on to attend Harry and Meghan's wedding ceremony, they were not invited to the evening reception, which was attended by some show business figures the Sussexes barely knew. Despite the snub, David agreed to Harry's request to fly to Australia, where he was hosting the Invictus Games, his celebrated competition for injured servicemen and women later that year. So just for continuity's sake, because I went in and talked about 3 reasons why a narcissist may become envious, I want to share that what happened right before that, this portion of the article, is that Victoria Beckham started giving advice for beauty and hair care, I guess, to Meghan, and then this information was, in quotations, leaked to the press. So immediately Meghan believes that Victoria Beckham is responsible for this leak to the press. However, I believe this is a manipulation, and we'll get into that in a little bit later in this video. He made the arduous 22-hour journey from London to Sydney only to discover that the Duke would not see him or even be pictured with him. The reason, according to Tom Bauer, was Meghan. She wanted no competition in the media from David, he wrote in his book Revenge. It seems she was not prepared to tolerate anything flattering regarding the Beckhams and the games to appear in the media. And this is this provides direct evidence of that envy Meghan Markle felt, but there is a second thing that's at play here. And that second thing is that narcissists like to isolate their victim, and there's several reasons for this. In my opinion, this conflict that arose from the Beckhams was a way for her to get Harry to end his relationship with them. The article continues, David had always been an ardent royalist who would stand up for the Queen's speech every Christmas, dressed in his Sunday best. Years later, he queued for 12 hours to view the Queen's coffin when her body was lying in state. So it is perhaps no surprise that the Sussexes' attacks on the royal family failed to impress the Beckhams. Both David and Victoria put great importance on family and would never ever turn on their relations the way that Harry and Meghan did, one of their associates tells me. The truth is that Victoria never really liked Meghan much. She was friendly and welcoming to her, but is not bothered about staying in touch. Given that David owns a football club in Miami and the couple have an increasingly prominent position in American society, it might seem natural that they would join the court of Harry and Meghan. Instead, the Beckhams are sticking with the Windsors. If power couples were like football teams, this match would be a 2-0 result to William and Catherine. Honestly, who cares? This isn't about a match. What I wanted to focus the rest of this video on is how this action is an example of how Meghan has isolated Harry from people in general. And what I want to do is talk about 3 reasons why narcissists will do this to their partner. Why would they want their partner isolated? The first reason is for control and power. By sowing discord, narcissists can assert dominance over their partner, making them more dependent on the narcissist for emotional support and validation. Just look at Harry right now. He probably, put yourself in Harry's shoes and you want to get out of this marriage. Who are you going to go to? Where are you going to go? You're less likely to leave because you don't feel that there's anywhere you can go. You don't feel you have support from anyone. Literally, the narcissist has become the center of your life. And all of this is allegedly and in my opinion. The second reason is to divert attention. By creating conflict, they distract from the narcissist's own behaviors and shortcomings. By shifting the focus to external issues, they can avoid accountability for their actions. In my opinion, Meghan herself was the one that called the press and leaked that story. I don't think Victoria Beckham did it. This is all allegedly and in my opinion. So because Meghan herself is the one that always reaches out to the press and calls the paparazzi and all of that, what does she do when she goes and talks to her husband or her fiance, or I don't know at what point in their relationship this conflict began, but she turns to him and says, look, Victoria Beckham went and told the press about this small incident that she and I had in private. It's such a manipulation. It's literally taking the thing that she's doing and accusing someone else of doing it when she knows that Victoria Beckham didn't call the press. She herself likely did, in order to create conflict. And finally, by isolating their partner, they enforce loyalty. The narcissist fosters an environment where the partner feels they have no one else to rely on, reinforcing their loyalty and minimizing outside influences that might challenge the narcissist's narrative or behavior. So let's look at this situation from Prince Harry's point of view. Imagine he is being told by his partner, who he trusts, that the Beckhams have gone straight to the press and have told or sold off this story. Not only would the relationship between the two of them end, but the two couples would end, but he would never trust the Beckhams again. Even if the relationship were to continue, he would not feel comfortable. There would always be this distrust. And what does that do? That creates that loyalty towards their partner. It reinforces that and it gets rid of that outside influence. Okay, so this is where I will end the video today. I'm curious to know what you all think. Please write in the comments what your thoughts are if you agree with this assessment. And I'm really excited to hear from all of you. Again, if this content is interesting to you, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.